People of the world, I come bearing some great news. Homelessness is rise on the UK. British people have to cut down on daily essentials to make it through. Unchecked illegal immigration is at its all-time highest, and public money is being used to house those amazing, peaceful illegal immigrants in hotels while the public starves and remains homeless on the street. And on top of that, United Kingdom is on its way to some of the slowest mid to long term growth. If all these things point at one thing, it is this: the sun has set on the British Empire. These motherfuckers are back on the streets. And as someone from India, this is a very beautiful and positive thing because this reminds me of a concept called karma. What goes around comes around. Justin Timberlake said it himself. Isaac Newton also said it, but he used nerd speak. There was a time in the 1730s in which India was the second largest GDP of the world, and United Kingdom was dirt poor as shit. Then a few decades later, around 1760s, 1770s, these motherfuckers stole a lot of money from us. I mean, if a company is richer than the country it originates, it already tells you how much money they have stolen. And despite all of this, these people had the audacity to tell the world that we were uncivilized and British people brought us back to civilization and all that kind of bullshit. And they taught us how to read, apparently. This is very interesting because there was a temple in India made in 7th century where the various phases of the pregnancy are engraved in stone, right from fertilization all the way to the development of the baby in the womb. 7th century. And the temple is still functional today. How advanced a civilization has to be to understand these phases of pregnancy and also have the will and the technology and the engineering and the architecture to build it into temples and embed it into the day-to-day lives of the citizens. It's amazing. And another interesting fact is this temple has outlived both the British Empire and the British civilization. This is reminiscent of karmic justice, and this is how it gets. Look, when British people were colonizing India, they stole from us and they told everyone that British people civilized us. Simultaneously, when the amazing illegal immigrants, they had their fun with minors, young girls as young as 9 years of age were groomed and targeted and molested systematically by these guys for years before it even came out. And I don't even know if these guys got sentenced. In 2014, there was this, some report was released, and according to that report, the number was around 1,400, at least 1,400 minor girls experienced this. In my opinion, that number is very high, way higher than British people will get to admit. And Sadiq Khan, the mayor of London, says that immigrants have made United Kingdom better. That's what he said. He said that we need more immigrants in London and it will help the diversity, it will help the economy, blah, blah, blah. It's very similar to what British people said about India after they looted us. They said that they civilized us. It's kind of similar-esque. Another area of similarity, like another reason why I call this karma and what British people are experiencing today is very well deserved, is because when Indian people were fighting for the freedom of their motherland, they were labeled as revolutionary terrorists by the British people, as you can imagine. And right now, their own media, BBC News, is labeling the Englishmen who are protesting against housing illegal immigrants with public money as far-right supremacists. British people invaded into India and then they used propaganda to make it look good. Another way this is very similar to the colonialism of Bharat is that when British people came to India, they fucked the Indian education system. In 1835, it was decided that the Western sciences and literature would be imparted to Indians through the medium of English by Lord William Bentinck's government. And Bentinck appointed Thomas Babington Macaulay, T.B. Macaulay, also known as Lord Macaulay, as the chairman of the General Committee of Public Instruction. And here is an excerpt from a speech in the British Parliament on 2nd February 1835. He says, and I quote, "We must at present do our best to form a class who may be interpreters between us and the millions whom we govern, a class of persons, Indian in blood and color, but English in taste, in opinions, in morals, and in intellect." Basically, brainwash them. His actual words, right? So basically, British people said that in order to fully conquer Bharat, they need to fuck the education system so that they can brainwash us. Social engineering 101, right? But anyway, the point is, right now, the same thing is happening in the UK. As the education system of the UK, the customs and traditions of the British schools are being changed. And it's happening from all sides. So the rainbow people, or as I like to call them affectionately, confused cocksuckers, these guys, along with Muslims, are editing the education system of the British to conquer the minds of young children from the school, right? So that's another parallel you can draw from it. And you know what the funny thing is? After the British people stopped looting us, their wealth started deteriorating slowly. And in 2021, finally overtook United Kingdom as the fifth largest economy of the world. And this is all the proof you need. Because if United Kingdom was poor before they came to India, and they became poor after they were kicked out of India, and they were only rich, powerful, and influential when they were colonizing India and when they were looting from India, it is proof that you did not civilize India. You just used that as propaganda. And you can also easily prove that if you look at this bitch, what's her name? Queen Elizabeth. So she is wearing a crown which is made up of stolen jewelry. That's the epitome of cheapness. You don't have self-respect. You gotta kill yourself. So anyway, the people of UK are getting exactly what they deserve. All of the pain and suffering these guys have caused, not just in India, but in all of their colonies wherever they existed, it's now coming back to bite them in the ass. Last I checked, on paper, the United Kingdom was a Christian country on paper. And in that Christian country, Kate Middleton, a member of the royal family, the same family that flaunted stolen jewelry, they have visited some Muslim area or whatever, Muslim center, something, and she was wearing a hijab. And her husband is supposed to be the defender of the faith. That's beautiful to see. You get what you fucking deserve. There is a saying from India that if the father takes a loan, the son has to repay it. The generation of British people who have stolen from the world and raped their culture and civilization, they're now long gone. But their children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren are probably still alive. And what they're dealing with is karma. So in conclusion, I'm very, very grateful to Islam, the religion of peace, the liberals, the ideology of tolerance, and all of the spineless British people who let their country die. Thank you very much for avenging all of the indigenous cultures that British people have destroyed. Thank you, and peace out.